share the link.
Things are under control at the level of the Douala seaport for close to 2 weeks now. We have been having this saga over the scanning of containers over there at the Douala seaport. Of course, one contract with the SGS and the government of Cameroon. We know that this French-owned company has been in at the Douala seaport since 2015, and of course we know that the contract normally was to end in 2023. Many things are actually going on about the set contract, but the good news is that Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gutier came out, and things are under control at the level of the Douala port, the Douala seaport. What are the lessons that we can actually retain following this scanning saga at the Douala seaport? And then equally discussions are going on or went on between the youths and government officials throughout the week without taboo. What, of course, is the importance of such exchanges between government officials and Cameroonian youth from all walks of life? What to retain? Those are the two major topics that we shall be discussing. Of course, today we equally witnessed that this week was the National Bilingualism Week. We are talking of the 21st edition. Can we be proud of our bilingualism that we are practicing in the country today? Well, we are happy that you are watching Camdis television at this particular moment. We say good afternoon, Ubuntu, as of course we have men of substance and men of caliber. We'll begin with him. He is a politician. They call him, of course, Frank Eve Kendong. He has just joined us here. Frank, we say, of course, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tabi Clarkson. Good afternoon to all my young and brilliant co-panelists with me here today. It has been a long time that I've not been in the Republican debate. I'm happy to meet young people. The casting, Mr. Tabi Clarkson, is exceptional because this is the youth week.
Of course.
The youth cultural week. So it is important to invite young people to express themselves according to the different topics. I will also greet all the televiewers of Camdis Television, in particular from my office, Wendy where they are sitting, my workers are sitting and watching this program today. They were really excited to watch this program. So I will greet them and ask them to stay focused, because this program actually is a program that will edify their points of view, without forgetting the main manager of this company, Madame Below, who is doing a great job in this company, and she's really taking care to train young people to grow and for a better future. Thank you, Mr.
I will add by saying that we are waiting advert because you have been talking about this company.
I didn't call the name.
True that I did not call the name, but you have called names, especially the name of Madame, the GM, the managing director. All the same, we say good afternoon to you over there watching the program. We are happy, we are pleased to know that you're out there watching Camdis at this particular moment. Equally with us on this panel, he has not been coming for quite some time now. Some said, or some are saying that he has crossed the carpet. I don't know. They call him, of course, Mr. Kengani Bertrand. He is a politician. We say good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Tabi Clarkson. Good afternoon to my co-panelists. Good afternoon to millions and millions of viewers of Camdis Television. Happy New Year to you all, because it is really long. I've not been here. I'm once again delighted to be among these brilliant co-panelists again.
You have been missing in action, eh? Some say you have crossed the carpet.
Not yet. I've not crossed the carpet yet. You know, after my resignation in PAP. I have a lot to do, which has to do with family affairs and also other issues. So I just decided to be silent for a while.
Okay.
But I will bounce back very soon because I will be making known my new
You're already
party.
back.
You're already back. You're already bouncing back. And we say thank you for coming. Equally with us, we have, of course, the National Deputy Secretary General of the PAP party, is equally a legal advisor on business and criminal matters. They call him Dagger George. Dagger George, we say, of course, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tabby Clarkson. Good afternoon to all my fellow co-panelists here in the studio. This is Youth Week and we are celebrating youth in Cameroon. Special greetings to all the Cameroonian youth watching us at this point in time. And special greetings to the national president of the Popular Action Party, Mr. Njang Dennis Tabe, who is always flexible in carrying out his duty as the national president of the Popular Action Party, who has given visibility to so many Cameroonian youth as far as politics is concerned in this nation.
But there are party too many people are already resigning. And what is happening?
Mr. Tabby Clarkson, Popular Action Party, as I already said, is a flexible party that follow the legal norms of the state. You know, so which means individuals have the right to join, and they have the right, the legal right, to leave. You see, we operate in a democratic society in which, in a political arena, people will have different objectives. You know, PAP has objectives. You understand? And if you are a militant of PAP, maybe along the line you see that the objectivity, the main objectives of PAP no longer suit your personality. Maybe you wish to not belong to the party again. You have the right to go. Or you can still join other parties, you understand?
Of course.
So when you are a militant of PAP, doesn't mean that you have come and you have to die there. If you see, within the week, we have made some changes. You understand? Yes, to better prepare Popular Action Party for the upcoming municipal and legislative election. You see that we have vibrant new bureau members at the national level, like Mr. Tambaye, you see, like Mr. Salman, you see, and others that have been integrated to the national bureau of the party because during the presidential election, these guys have proven beyond reasonable doubt that they are able to carry out with the mantle of that party. You see, that is to tell you that as people are going,
others are coming.
Others are coming. That is how party is.
And that is how life
And when you
is,
look with like the case of CBTM and other parties, as others are leaving, others are coming.
Okay.
You see for the case of CBTM, you see that big weeks of CBTM, some like Chiroma and Bello, who claimed to have resigned also. You see, others also joined the CBTM party. Right?
Anyway, Chiroma was not a militant of the CPTM party, no Bello Buba Megara, but that's how life is.
No, they were indirect militant of the CPTM party.
People are going, people are equally coming. The time for me to present my former colleague and a colleague, because he is a journalist and he will remain a journalist. He used to work with Canal 2 or Canal 2 International. They call him, of course, Lambert Kevin. Lambert, we say good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon to my co-panelists. Good afternoon to a very good gentleman. He should be following us, and he's telling me that I should tell you that he's looking for employment because he's a youth. So you need to forward his document as soon as possible. His name is Tanlaka Mark Kognyui. You know, he's a fervent follower of this particular program, the Republican Debate. He's a web designer and stuff. So now I just wonder whether we will ever have another Youth Day celebration like in those days. Because all this, what we are saying now, Youth Day, it is just word of mouth. Because Youth Day died some few years back. And because some people have confiscated this country and they think that the country belongs to them, and they decide for the country and they do it the way they want to do it, and there's nothing you can do. We keep clapping hands, but praying that there should be change. So I'm just here to play my own part as a youth, because the more we stop talking, the more things get bad. And it's like the more we keep talking, the more worse things are coming. But the best thing is to talk.
Mr. Tabi,
Lambert, it was just to say good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very
to
much.
greet you.
and Mr. Tabi, there's something that Cameroonians need to know, that we have misinterpreted the 11th of February. In the nutshell, it's not even Youth Day in Cameroon. The plebiscite day is not Youth Day in Cameroon. It is the day that the two nations came together. We were not supposed to celebrate 11th February in Cameroon as Youth Day. So it's as if I'm saying maybe the government will check another day and put, because we have to celebrate this particular day as a unity day.
It should be a different government, not this one. They cannot change
Anyway,
it.
it's true that on the 11th of February 1966, something equally happened in this country. It's true that we have been celebrating 11th of February, but before then there was Empire Day in the then southern Cameroons. But today we are celebrating 11th of February, which is Youth Day, and we know that we are celebrating the 60th edition of our National Youth Day this year, and we equally know that before that 11th February, on the 10th of February, President Paul Biya will be addressing the youth, and the youths are looking forward to get to know what President Paul Biya will be telling them this 10th of February 2026. But we are not yet there, because today we are discussing on two other topics. We are starting with the scanning issue at the Douala seaport. I'll begin with you, our politician, Mr. Frank Eve Kendong. Certainly you follow the developments over this issue at the level of the Douala seaport. What is your take?
Yes, actually, Mr. Tabi Clarkson, as you said, I did follow the evolution of this situation, of this new scandal. But you know, at some time we have to say enough is enough, because such kind of scandals in Cameroon is becoming a kind of permanent issues happening in our country. We just saw the case with Conseil Sao, that a contract was resigned, where the Cameroon government paid a lot of money for resigning a contract. I don't know on which basis.
The coach of the Indomitable Lions.
The coach of the Inter. Okay. We also have the McGill situation, where the Cameroon government, at least, you know, we have to be really careful. Not far from a few months ago, we have the case of Tolcam, which the contract was resigned by the government of Cameroon, pretending a project that have already gone more than half of it. You see, and we don't have to forget that Cameroonians, we are the ones paying all those amounts that the international institution or the arbitrage instances are landing to Cameroon government. It's not a minister who is paying it. It's not a particular president of the republic or whosoever who is paying that money. Because when they amend the Cameroon government, the government is us. They are collecting tax from us to pay those amounts. But I don't know why. Actually, we can see that it's very sad that such things is happening in Cameroon, especially, you know, as I don't know why the legal advisor of the Cameroon government are not really giving them good advices, because when you see there is a juridical point that have to be respected in between the Cameroon government and the SGS, which is stipulated in the contract, that the contract was signed in 2015. It was stipulated in the contract that the contract would take effect when the fourth scanning gate will be installed. That means immediately when the fourth scanning gate will be installed. But you see that the the scanning gate was installed in
23.
2022. In 2022. And in that 2022, based on the article stipulated on the contract, that is that 2022 when the contract is supposed to take effect. But you can see somebody feels that he is a general director of the seaport. He have connection with certain state governance, and he wanted to resign the contract. You know, this is scandalous. I will not fail to appreciate the Prime Minister, Dr. John Gute. For the first time, I saw that he took action against certain illegal decisions. Maybe it is a game of interest, but at least he managed to save the Cameroon interest related on this case, because we don't have to forget that when you resigned a contract, in the middle of the contract, we have international institutions, international juridical instances that the countries will complain. They will complain there. And from there, resigning a contract, you have to pay the damages. Yes, and we have been paying damages from Conceição to McGill, from McGill to Tolkam, and now we are going. What is really happening in this country? I want to draw the attention of the Cameroonian that they should put an eye on this issue, because this issue, especially, I'm calling the attention of the Cameroon Board of Lawyers to really work out and make sure that those Cameroon governance, or those people in charge of those issues, should make sure and let them understand the consequences of resigning a contract, because it is just absurd, Mr. Tabiklas.
Okay, yes, Mr. Bertrand Kengani, you equally follow this issue?
Yes, Mr. Tabi, is something really serious, because when we talk of the scanning saga, this is a saga about major logistic and administrative crisis. We know for any item to enter into a nation, it needs to be properly scanned. And unfortunately, those in charge are fighting over who should be responsible for that. It's something really serious. It's even worse than the candidates that we've had. It's worse than even the Glencore affair, because this one has to do with the lives of Cameroonians. And now, this Swiss company, the LGS, which is Société Générale de Surveillance, signed a contract, like my co-panelist rightly said, in 2015, which started only in 2022. That is 2022. And now the contract stipulates that it has to end in 2032. We are still in 2026. And we are seeing the tussle among the people. You transfer a contract from someone to another person without even the prior notification of the person in charge. Cameroonians, we don't know the reason why that contract was transferred. And you know, according to the law, this is a breach of contract. And any breach of contract has consequences. So you see that my co-panelist, Mr. Kendon, was right to say that we continue to spend billions upon billions on things that we wouldn't have spent it. The reason is simple, because it's like when you look at the people governing us, it's like within them there is a kind of crack, because somebody gives instruction, another person comes and counsel. But I appreciate the Prime Minister, His Excellency Chief Dr. Jongute, for intervening, because on the 29th of January, this January 2026, he held a meeting at the Star Building with all the stakeholders and insisted that the contract would remain that of the SGS. Why? Because SGS signed a contract with the Cameroon government and not with the Port Authority. And even it has to be changed, there are procedures to follow, and it must come back to him for approval. Unfortunately, we still see the scandal repeating itself. Why? Because from the presidency, under the high instruction of the president, the contract should go back to Transatlantic. So you see that there's a kind of misunderstanding among themselves. But the prime minister will encourage him to stand firm, because it's justice, it is been normal, so he has to stand firm and see that the contract is respected, so that we don't spend money on foreign companies and foreigners again.
Yes, Mr. Dagger, the scanning issue at the Douala seaport.
Yeah, it's quite appalling that in a nation like Cameroon, that we have so many legal-minded personalities, we still face situations that will cause us to spend huge sums of money paying for damages. Mr. Kendon Franklin rightly said, we paid huge sums of money to Conceição, to MacBreeze, Tolcam, and this time around, another scandal is coming up. You know, SGS signed a contract, and there was a clause in that contract which stipulated that the 10 years contract will start counting from the day they installed the fourth scanning machine in the Douala seaport. They did that in 2023, which means their contract is supposed to come to an end in 2032. But unilaterally, the authorities of Douala seaport decided to single-handedly end the contract without consulting without a mutual agreement with SGS, which means they are liable to pay damages and compensate SGS if Transatlantic should stay and take over scanning of goods at the Douala seaport. But you know, I tend to ask questions that Transatlantic company in charge of scanning at the seaport is already working in Kribi seaport. They are the one controlling, in charge of Kribi seaport as far as scanning is concerned. Why is it that they are so bent in illegally taking over of Douala seaport? Is there a political agenda behind it? Because you know something, Mr. Tabi, when you control two seaports in this country, it means you control the power of the nation. Because at the seaport, anything can enter this country and do good or do harm for Cameroonians. So why is it that these individuals who are behind Transatlantic company in charge of scanning at the Kribi airport are so bent on taking the scanning of
the Douala
seaport? What is the hidden agenda? And they are not doing it illegally, they are doing it illegally. They are taking it by force. Because when I look at the situation, the prime minister came in with very good resolution, legally binding. But yet, another instruction came from the presidency that the investigations are going on to see into the matter. We then ask question. Contracts that have been signed, confirmed. We just need to look at the document, and it's legal. What should decision taken concerning the matter should be a matter of investigating it. What are we investigating in something that is clear? Even a child that is not legally minded, even a child that cannot understand legality, will know that SGS is the right person to carry out scanning in Douala seaport. The papers are there. You see, these have made us to see that the government entity is divided, because the prime minister, who is in charge as head of government, reviewed a matter, gave his resolutions, and another decision came from the presidency that investigation will be carried out for the matter to be concluded.
But for now,
and then when you look at it critically,
is under control.
You see,
it's important to say it that the situation is under control.
Yes, Mr. Tabi.
Yes.
Mr. Tabi. Before coming here, I did my research.
Yes.
Let me show you that I've been in. I'm coming from Douala. When you tell me that the situation is under control, that is how we say about the crisis in the northwest and southwest region. That the crisis, the case is under control, and it has not been up to 3 weeks. We've witnessed the Gidado massacre, killing children, mothers, and fathers. They keep telling us that the situation is under control. We are not here to listen to the so-called situation is under control. We want a final resolution. Mr. Tabi, do you know what they say? A situation is under control. It means we are working on it to see into it that we come out with a possible solution. The situation is not yet under control because, you see, we are in a situation where the big stakeholders of this nation are at loggerhead. It is not the company SJSA. Let's first fact. The government stakeholders are at the loggerhead.
We have heard you.
I don't want to mention
Thank
them.
you.
Just to add something.
Yes.
The consequences of this saga, maybe we'll come to that later.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Lambert Kevin.
Yes, Mr. Tabi.
It's quite pathetic what is happening in Douala.
I don't know why.
The scanning issue. And
Why
the
when they
support.
call somebody the head of government, he does something and it's like people are still trying to come in and judge. Like what George is saying there, it's very correct. It is to tell you clearly that despite the fact that you are a head of an institution, there is that particular person that you must answer present to the person. And to my greatest surprise, I am shocked and disappointed that the seaport that is the heartbeat of Cameroonians is being tampered on. If you can tamper with that seaport, it is an indication that Cameroon will one day be bought. That's why when some people are saying in other languages that they should sell Cameroon and distribute the money, some of you people would like to bring in diplomatic languages. We live in quarters and we know what is happening. I think that what the Prime Minister did is 100% excellent. And I will be praying that those in charge of the port should bring out very reasonable facts and report why they wanted to sack. I say sack the company that was in charge of scanning. Because what happened to the transatlantic company? We don't know. We are just speaking here. Nobody can tell you what happened before another person came in. Another company came in to be at the scanning department of stuff that are being imported and exported. You don't wonder why a 5-star commissioner here was arrested for transacting illegal goods here at Ntibale Airport. We are just investigating Douala because maybe Douala is in charge of goods. Yes, per se, we are the heartbeat of economy in Cameroon. Let me tell you that when somebody appoints you, there's a saying that you don't buy the figure that fits you. Most of the people who are working there, they rely on instructions from their bosses. They don't know their work. There are some people that have, in fact, I don't want to say they lack work. They just get in there through certain connections, and they are working in following the instructions from what their bosses are telling them. So they cannot work well. So what do you expect? And in a situation wherein does it mean that we don't have any other trust in any other company apart from paying charges? So what the other panel says is very clear, Mr. Tabi. We should avoid the issue of always paying charges for doing wrong. We know that if we do this, we will pay for it. Why should we continue? Why not maintain the devil that you know, rather than bringing in an angel that you don't even know what can happen? The other company that is coming in, yes, let us drive these people away and bring the one. What we expected or what we thought was going wrong on the other side, this one may be worse than the other scanning company. So we should think very well. So I want to appreciate the Prime Minister and saying that let the port authorities take charge of anything that happens. And if we have lawyers, truly we have very faithful lawyers in this country, they should do an investigation again and deposit their reports directly to the Prime Minister for that, because he may go there following what the authorities must have told him. But if he sits behind again and evaluate what other spies may say, it may be better for us.
Mr. Frank Kendong, can we say that the situation, beside the fact that is being protected, because we are seeing infighting within government stakeholders, can we say there is a hidden agenda?
Yes, obviously in Cameroon, as we usually know, most of the cases of this fight in between the government officials, there are always some interest. But that is not really the point. The point is who suffers the consequences. That's the problem, because they can be fighting their fights, but who suffer the consequences? So
they say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers.
Most of the times, Cameroon officials, they believe that what happens in Cameroon will always remain in Cameroon. That is false. A contract signed in Cameroon is enforceable to open a dispute in London, in Paris, in New York, in Washington. You understand? Because when you look, Cameroon have been members of a lot of international organizations, like the World Trade Organization, like the OHADA, like the Arbitration Court of Paris. So when companies came, transatlantic companies comes here, they make sure that they secured the contract in one of those organizations. Most of the time, even, they secure the contract in 2 or 3 of those organizations. In case a dispute will arise in the future, they will not, the case will not be judged in Cameroon. So I want to draw your attention that there are a lot of hidden bills that Cameroon are paying. A lot of hidden bills. I've made a lot of research. There are a lot of hidden bills that the Cameroon government are paying. And this saddens me because the money is not a money that they just took from somewhere. It's a money that they are taking from a very, 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 very severe tax pressure to the citizens. You understand? Yes. I cannot tell you how many times a tax organization of different names arises into companies in small shops in Cameroon, even the small shops that are selling bread. You understand? They are coming like 3-4 of them in a week. So we have to be careful. Sometimes you will ask what is really happening in this country, but that is just the fact that the country is not responsible enough to secure the interests of Cameroonians. They are not responsible enough to secure the interests of Cameroonians. What is there is that they are fight for their personal interests. I don't know. In some of the cases, sometimes I really want to imagine how can people be so rich and continue to destroy the country to become more richer. That is really, for me, it's satanic. It's satanic because if you see the degree of pressure, the degree of poverty that Cameroonians are facing, I will tell you that 60% of Cameroonians are living under the minimum. Under the minimum. You have to work 18 hours a day, at least, to eat 2 times in your house. You understand? So Cameroonians today don't have time to relax, time to enjoy about life. Why? Because the system have been destroyed in such a way that when those officials are, they becomes, that means they are not accountable of what they are doing, of their actions. You understand? Because how can you think somebody can just stand a director of a company can just stand and say, I don't want this, I want to disrupt this contract? How is that possible? There is a procedure. There is a procedure of disrupting a contract. You have to call the parties, call legal
Experts, yeah.
legal experts, right, to discourse about the contract and find the lapses. But you cannot just stand up and say that, okay, yes, this contract is finished. Even if the contract ends, there is a way to end it officially. And you cannot just end a contract without making a what they call accountability of what you owe the company or what the company owes to the government, right? You just stand on your own and say that, okay, this contract should end. That is not how things should be done.
Thank you, Mr. Kenganye Bertrand. We have to respect the law, especially when we have signed a contract. We have to make sure that the law or the clauses in this contract are being respected.
You are right, Mr. Tabi. I have the impression that in Cameroon, people are not longer respecting the law. For instance, you see people telling you, under the high instruction of the head of state. I also have the impression that even the head of state is not aware of some of these things. Because if he was aware of what is happening in the nation, he wouldn't have validated an illegal company to replace a legal company without proper investigation. You see, it's true that what the Prime Minister is doing is good. Yes, it's under legal framework. Because he said this, the Prime Minister decided that the contract can only be terminated by the government if changes are needed. If changes are needed. And such integrating another operator, for you to integrate another operator like Transatlantic to take back the seaport scanning, you need to refer it to its technical and financial oversight bodies, and the PM will be the one to approve, meaning that he's an expert and he knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, his outing contradicts that of the head of state, which has already validated Transatlantic a week ago.
Not him, maybe high instructions, maybe.
A country is not governed by high instruction. That is the first thing that we Cameroonians should know. There is nowhere in our constitution where they said high instruction. Somebody should do this. There is a law, and we have to follow the law. I know that the Prime Minister suggestions contradicts that of the President. My only worry now is only time will tell us if the saga has ended or it will continue. Because this is a very serious issue that hurts my role. People might fall because of their differences or because of their stance. But at least we should be sure to stand behind those who are standing for justice. You see, this country, I'm afraid for our country, to be honest with you. I'm afraid because you cannot have the accessibility into a country, and it's not only Cameroon. Because the seaport in Douala is not only that of Cameroonians, but there are those landlocked countries that depend on us, like Chad, Central Africa, and
Gabon.
And Gabon. There are other countries that depend on us for their goods. If you go now to see the seaport, it is catastrophic. When we get maybe to talk about the consequences of this saga on Cameroonians, on the state, and even on other countries, you see that it is enormous. We need to follow the law. We do the right thing. And I give all my support, 100%, to the PM. Because he is doing a marvelous job.
Yes, besides the consequences, we can equally say that the situation over there in Douala is quite pathetic, Mr. Of course, Mr. Dagger George.
Yes, Mr. Tabi or Clarkson, you see, majority of the stakeholders in this nation are taking Cameroonians for granted. They take decisions that affect Cameroonians and they move as if nothing is happening. I want to clarify some of that here. Maybe Cameroonians who are hearing the name Transatlantic, they will think that it's a foreign company. No. Transatlantic is not a foreign company. It's a company owned by Cameroonians where in which I don't want to mention
No, don't call names. Don't call names.
Yeah, I don't want to mention names because I myself, I like my life. We have been seeing situations happen in this country. And SJS is a company owned by a foreign company. And their contract is legally binding. As my brother rightly said here, I would just want to clarify it, that the SJS, if their contract happen to be terminated today, per the clause signed in the contract, which included the international arbitration clause, they will have to sue Cameroon out of the country. And Cameroon have also signed contract in the past with the international arbitration clause. You see, what he was saying is right. And today, because of the dispute at the seaport, we have witnessed operational disturbances there at the seaport, which has led to what procedural changes at the Douala seaport. We have witnessed double billing. Mr. Tabi, it's important that you should hear this. We've witnessed double billing at the seaport. That is, you have your good, you have to pay scanning bills to Transatlantic. You have to pay scanning bills to SGS.
Yeah,
you see, it has led to double billings. It has led to delay in delivery of good, leading to high prices of some good in the nation. It has led to the risk of strict scanning of good, because since each company wants to prove now that I'm the best, the proper scanning of good will no longer be taken into consideration, thereby allowing the nation vulnerable for any type of contraband good to enter our nation. Take, for example, the case of drugs. Imagine if we made a mistake and drugs that are highly dangerous to humans penetrate our territory. Us will suffer. But the so-called hierarchy, government hierarchy, will treat themselves abroad. Take, for instance, if there is a mistake and arms happen to infiltrate our national territory, what will happen to us, the common man? Because these guys have put their children out of the country. Their wives are out of the country. That's why they don't care about us, people living in this country. That's why they take decisions that affect us negatively without thinking about the price we pay. A country whose economy is highly reliable on foreign loans, we're supposed to instead work hard to have money in order to pay back loans, but they bring a saga that disrupts the normal functioning of our Cameroon economy. Mr. Tabi Klassen, when you ask me of the consequences, it's quite appalling that we have to give. This is a topic that I think today we will have just discussed about this topic, because seriously, it's affecting. Do you know that we have had scarcity of salt, right?
Yes.
As a result of what?
Salt now is
As a result of the saga.
6,000 in some places.
And some places 7.5. 1 bag of salt.
It's not
From 1.8. From 1.8 to
Because of the saga. Because of the saga. And people are comfortable in their zones and written that we are investigating the issue. Now there's a question of hierarchy in this nation. When you want to look at our constitution, we have the head of state, and the head of government is the prime minister. SGS signed a contract with the Cameroon government, and who is that head of government? The prime minister. And when the prime minister gives his final resolution on a matter, it is being challenged by high instruction, illegal high instruction. A country is not ruled by high instruction. We have rules and regulation binding this country. The legal norm of the state is our constitution. Now, who is giving that high instruction? What is difficult for President Paul Biya to address the issue directly as a president and put an end to the situation?
Mr. Daggett George, we have heard you. It's true that what is happening at the Douala seaport has terrible consequences, Mr. Lambert Kevin. But it's equally important to say it here that the situation, the recent news that we are having is that the situation is under control.
Under control for how long? That's what I want to know. Under control for how long? Yes, it's under control. Like Mr. George Riley said, we are into the 3rd week. And if this week elapses, it is 1 month exactly. We don't have salt. I've moved around Yaoundé. You know, I deal with salt. I cannot work without salt. We have moved around Yaoundé. We were proposed that salt is 6,500. It was not even available.
And the reason
So
why there is a scarcity of salt?
A personality from Minister of Commerce told us that there was a misunderstanding between the importer of the salt that was supposed to be 225 or 25 tons. That what happened within the sea level, you know, that their grammar just to scam you. We just listen and it passed. So if people can allow personal interest, I think this country will be the best. We have money. We are a very rich country. Very, very rich. But when people pocket us and they don't want you to say anything contrary to what they think, that part, as we are talking as like a joke, it is our heartbeat. Some of us may have a little amount of money, 10, 20 million to transact in that pot. But there are people there who are importing very heavy and very large vessels that are distributing like fertilizer, like other goods. Now, if the saga continues and investigations are going on and the situation is under control, are those people allowed to like to clear their goods
without being scanned?
Without being scanned, and who is going to scan it? So we wanted a definite resolution, and the company to remain scanning the goods, take over immediately. We didn't want us to sit and talk again, and it's like we are just talking to see the way forward. Under control for how long? Let us know, so that you know that you have imported 10 cars, and if the cars cannot be available for 2 months, you will just tell your customer that, please, there's something wrong somewhere. Rather than just sitting quiet and say that yes, it's under control, okay, we have accepted. Practically on the field, what is going to happen? Now, we don't have salt. Can the minister tell us for how long we are going to wait to have table salt? If we have reached the extent of not having salt, then we have a problem. And we have so many, we are a very rich country with raw materials. Does it mean that we don't have an area in all the 10 regions where we can process our own salt? And if not, what is disturbing us? So if we keep just asking that, yes, the issue of salt fabrication in Cameroon is under control. For how long? That's the long we want to know. We are not refusing. They are working, but I'm pleading that if people can allow their personal interest, we will go a long way to succeed. If we keep talking and being under control for more than 10 years, you sign a contract with somebody, you start work after 7 years or 8 years. That is uncalled for. I believe that if I come here and sign a contract with Camdis Television, I am able to start work immediately. For the Camdis people to test me, to see how competent I am to start work. Then somebody sign a contract and there's a breach there that if you don't pay a certain percentage to this particular office, you wouldn't start work. Meaning that you are prioritizing your personal interest more than that of the population. If we can sit and talk here, we're talking because of the population. We're not talking because of our personal interest. We're talking because we think that there is one grandmother now in Kwakwa who cannot cook because there is no salt. Do you understand what that means? Can you eat without salt? Even when you go to hospital and the doctor says you should control your diet, you still have that pinch of salt to eat. If you cook your food, for example, if you bake bread without salt, if somebody tests that they have not refused salt from a person medically, let me tell you that it will taste like poison. Like poison. There are people who cannot eat without basic salt. Can the minister tell us? That's what that is where I'm trying to learn. So yes, it is under control, but let us know for how long.
No, it is all things are under control. But I would like us to end to conclude on this topic. I will begin with you. We are coming to you. I will begin with Frank, with Bertrand Kengani. The way forward is true that there is this wahala over who has to do what and so on and so forth. But what is the way forward?
The way forward is simple: to respect the law. They should wait for SJS to terminate its contract. If there is a contrary to that, they should therefore follow a legal procedure. And they should make known to Cameroonians why they have to change from that company to another. We deserve accountability. we deserve to know the truth. We should not be left in the dark without we just get all one money and people are confused. You see containers are stockpiled there and it delays import because you cannot bring goods when the seaport is saturated, when they have not yet cleared. Like he talk of double billing, Mr. Tabi. You cannot believe that you pay bills to SJS and you go in front, you meet Transatlantic standing there and telling you that bill, they don't know who has cleared it for you. You have to clear it there. And by the time you come out of the seaport, you sell your goods, you sell it times 2. Look at a bag of salt from 1.8 to 6,500, going up to 7,000. So the way forward is they should respect the law. Laws are meant for people, and people are supposed to respect the law. There's nobody who is above the law.
There is nobody who is above the law. Mr. Frank Evekendo, you wanted to add something a while ago?
Yes, I wanted to add something because it is very important. You know, there are lots of different opinions on this issue, on this saga that is happening in the seaports of Douala. You know, I was listening 2 days ago a concurrent television, I will not call the name here, which one of the panelists was saying that the government, the Cameroon government, is fighting to have, is fighting for their sovereignty. You understand? It related to this issue. But I would like to inform Cameroonian, because when people come and disinform the population, we that have the opportunity to come in a television like this, we can also give them certain information to enlighten them, and so that they should be aware of the consequences of what is happening today in between Cameroon government and the SGS. You know, typically we have few institutions that are entitled to settle this kind of dispute. We have them. We have like the institutions such like the Central International Central for Settlement of Investment Disputes. We have the International Chamber of Commerce. We have the Permanent Court of Arbitration, and the OHADA Common Court of Justice and Arbitrations. Once a contract has been signed via this organization, it waives part of the sovereignty of Cameroon. So it means that if there is a case that will have to be judged with the Cameroon government and such international companies, that means it's not the court or the TCS or whatsoever, the Cameroon court, that will judge the case. It is a foreign organization, whereby in this organization we don't have political influence. You understand? It's law and only law. So people should understand that if we are fighting, we want to get the full sovereignty of our country in certain aspects of our contract, we should typically work in such a way that our company will be trained and will be trained to do the proper job. The Cameroon local companies, they have to be trained and to do the proper job. Beside from that, we have to be strict against corruption, because what is happening today is all about corruption. Most Cameroon, because you know, a Cameroonian company will take this contract, and somebody from the presidency or so ever will call him and say, we need 500 million. You understand? You will just bring the money and give. So those are things that we have to make sure, because sovereignty is not just all about having a local company controlling the air or the sea of Cameroon. It's about a strategic
strategies put in place.
Yes, strategy put in place to make sure that they are capable to resist the influence of cash flow. That means if somebody wants to bring weapons in Cameroon, they will make sure that they can be against those issues, even if they propose them a hundred of billions. You understand? So those are things that we have to know. Cameroon nowadays, you understand, they are not ready enough to handle certain strategic companies in the country, like the airspace, like the sea space, like many other things, even the ID cards. You can see. So it is catastrophic. We cannot be talking about sovereignty when we are not ready. We are not ready at all to face sovereignty. We are not ready at all to handle them because we are still living in a primitive corruption system. So that is what we have to talk. Okay. And to land, I want to say that we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful about what we are supporting. We cannot support certain things just because we have a relationship with this person and we know that when we come to the air and we say what the SG is doing is good, what the director of the seaport is doing is good, because we are expecting that after that we will get an envelope. No. Or we are Cameroonians, Republicans, or we are just bootlickers.
Your last word on this issue, Mr. Dage, George, before we go, what do you think is the way forward, apart from the fact that we have to respect the law, and we know that the law, nobody is above the law?
First, the Cameroon government should avoid irregularities on contracts and ambiguous contractual terms. You see, it's quite appalling that somebody will sign a contract in 2015 with a clause that the contract will start counting on the day he installed the last scanning machine. And they have installed it after how many years of existence? After 7 years of they have signed that, of which they have signed the contract already. They started executing after 7 years. You see, this contractual ambiguity. And the government is used to irregularities in contracts. This time around, it has tended to be affecting them. These are some of the things that they need to avoid. Secondly, the government also need to avoid contracts with foreign companies that will involve international clauses. Because when they sign such contracts, they no longer have the legal backing, legal jurisdiction to handle matters when it arises. You see, the case of SGS and Transatlantic, people will not understand that SGS, if they happens to sue Cameroon government, we are going to pay billions. And this is what the Prime Minister is struggling to avoid. But some individuals, for their selfish reasons, are still struggling to put us in a terrible situation. You see, as I really said here earlier, Mr. Tabi, selfishness, self-centeredness should be avoided in this nation. These Cameroon stakeholders who are so bent, who are power mongers, should put that behind and put the interest of the masses first so that this country can witness peace and progress. You know, Transatlantic have not delayed. This is a company that just came up. And they have given them Kribi Airport.
Seaport.
Kribi Seaport, thank you. They've given them Kribi Seaport. Instead to concentrate and show what they can do.
And gain on experience.
And gain also experience, they are now battling the Douala Seaport to take over the scanning business from SGS. And to point the fact that he said something here that is very pertinent. It's very pertinent. How can a government sign a contract and some individuals who claim to be authorities at the seaport decided to dissolve the contract without mutual agreement? That is breach of contract. We should respect the law. We should respect the law. Once you enter into a certain contract, respect the law
and procedures.
It is very, very important. Because when you fail to respect your own contract, sign. You were not drunk before signing the contract. Except maybe they want to tell us that they were drunk. They were induced to sign a contract that's working against them today, that after 7 years, somebody is coming to add another 10 years to make 17 years. Whereas the contract stipulated that they were supposed to execute it over 10 years. You see? And another thing, even if we want to talk at the period of 10 years. The contract was signed in 2015. Right? You want to breach the contract. First, you want to terminate the contract under which condition? Give us reasons. Maybe SGS has been compromised and they have allowed illegal goods to enter the country. Those will be proofs that will help you, will enable you to terminate the contract because another party is not respecting the rules and regulation of that contract. But the authorities in charge of Douala Seaport has not given us any reasons whatever to terminate that contract prematurely. Because if, as of now, they still have their 10 years, they have not even started execution. You see, it's dangerous.
We have to respect the law.
We have to respect the law.
Thank you, thank you.
They should allow them because according to the law, when you look, the guys have not yet started execution of their contract there.
Thank you, thank you. Your last word,
yes,
your last word,
I
Mr.
believe
Lambert.
that,
Kevin?
despite the fact that I want to think that George has spoken my mind, when you sign a contract with somebody, I think it's not the matter of just a signature. There are some points that are remunerated from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. When you want to terminate the contract, like the case of the Douala Seaport, read those contract terms again.
They does read.
Read them again. Don't just sign and exchange papers like we see on our mother TV. And you say, then you go and sit, and then you take your outstanding allowance. Read the contract. Read repeatedly. That if I'm taking the decision that since I am the GM of the poor, I will just go to the assembly and announce that the contract has been terminated. Read and read again before you take action. And know that you have a lawyer. Don't have a lawyer because you're a family member. Look for a good lawyer who can even judge a family member, and if the case was not to be won by the family member, you will prove to you that I went to school and I studied law. Don't look for a lawyer that will always pamper you because after all you give a brown envelope. Let us forget about brown envelope and think of that our airport, seaport, and we'll grow. We have so many things here. So whatsoever, even at the level of this television, no matter what is pressing you, when you are signing a contract with the worker, let the points be clear. And when you want to terminate the contract, read and read and read before you terminate. If not, you will keep on paying. Do you know that you can sack somebody from this television and this television crumble? Just like you can sack the scanning company of the Douala Seaport, and we discover that the seaport is no more in existence because we are in court all the time. Going to court for me is not always a good thing. Let us think and rethink before we do things.
Let us think and rethink before we do things, especially as going to court is not always a good thing. We shall tackle our second topic of the day. We are talking, of course, these discussions between government ministers and Cameroonian youth. I'll begin with you, given that you are an educationist, Mr. Bertrand Kengani. Can we say that such discussions are good for the youth? It gives hopes for a better tomorrow?
It's always good to discuss with among ourselves. It's normal. It is good. But now, is it applicable everywhere? That's where the problem lies. Because at times, the initiative comes up, and at the end, it dies a natural death. You know, our elders or elites have a delaying tactic. Yeah, but I know of so many youth conferences with the government, like we have the Youth Connect Cameroon, which is sponsored annually. It is carried out annually, and it is done it is managed by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. I think that Youth Connect, the objective is to empower the youth, to introduce them to mentorship with experienced workers. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
A good thing. The discussions between government officials and youths, Mr. Frank Eve Kendong, it's true that when we see this, we have the impression that there is hope for a better tomorrow.
Hope for a better tomorrow. We hope, the youth, we hope for a better tomorrow. But it is a little bit funny to see that the minister was having a discussion with the youth, but around me, I am that means I'm partner with more than 350 youth. We have a young entrepreneur. We have a forum that we never. I asked this question when I have when I got the topic of this program. I asked the question in the forum if one of the youths were present, one of the youths that that belongs to this forum. So I doubt to know which kind of youth they are inviting.
We have many youths in Cameroon.
I doubt to know which kind of youth. In between 350 young entrepreneurs who are employers, none of them was invited in this forum. You know, it is the same thing like they say they invited Amazonian fighters in the national dialogue. Those are the same issues and those are the same consequences we are facing. Mr. Tabi, we should not always take youth program as just a political conference or a political show to try to convince people or convince the population that we have been talking. Okay, yes, they have met with the youth. What did they explain to the youth about the 50 billion the head of state allocated for the youth, for a youth project in 2026? Those are those little points. For me, I believe that we have to be very effective. Our stakeholders, minister and whosoever they be, they have to change the music. They have to change the sound that they are playing. They have to be pragmatic. I want the minister to invite youths and tell them that 20,000 youths have benefited for this and this. This is the project that they have been doing. This is how we are following them. This is how they are progressing. They have been employing this and this kind of people, or this number of people. That is what I want. So in such a conference, I don't really have much to say because I think that, as a Frenchman say, la conférence était stérile.
Mr. Lambert, Kevin, what is your take?
I was told that someone defended his thesis and was taken to custody. So it's very dangerous. The statement that this topic that you should discuss, there are certain things that it's difficult to discuss with the authorities here in Cameroon. To even get to the SD of Mfundi to interview him, is it easy for you as a journalist? No. So now, if you are going there to present your project to the SDO, you need certain protocols. An administrator that has been kept there to take care of people, you still want to apply that I want to go and see an SDO who is there to protect the people and their property, then there's a problem. So I think that we can say it's not a taboo, but on the practically, it's a taboo. It's a taboo because to see, I don't want to say a common SDO, because he has been there to protect the people and their property. It is difficult to see him. Why? Why? Because as a youth, because there are authorities out there that have given him instructions. You have been appointed to this area. These are people you have to work with. The other ones are not there. Are they not Cameroonians?
Mr. Lambert, have you ever been invited in a discussion
Mr. Tabi,
with government officials?
Mr. Tabi, I have worked in Bui for 10 years. To see the SDO for Bui is like you are going to see
the president.
No, the Minister of Territorial Administration, who is very, very frightened in Cameroon now. Because Mr. Atanganji is the only president, and when he says people should be sweeping the streets, you need to sweep your street and keep your environment very clean, very clean. The protocol to ever see the SDO for Bui in 2015, when I started work, it was like a suicide mission. You will answer questions from the secretaries, answer questions from the bodyguard, answer questions from everybody, just to see the SDO for a 1-minute interview. And if it exceeds 1 minute, they will start knocking the SDO's office. Please, your time is over. go out. Meanwhile, sometimes you even go out of the office, the SDO is sitting there and relaxing in his wheelchair and nothing is happening. So this thing that we should discuss is a taboo to me. Although it's good to tell them, but I wonder whether they are really listening. Because we wrote a project in 2023, submitted in the table of the Minister for Youth Affairs and Civic Education. He came investigated, or he came to investigate whether the project was really real. What has he done? Because of the protocol. Remember, the director of that institution once told us that the minister, we are trying to do something big for you, and you people are requesting for bread that we took that was not up to 300,000. That 300,000 is already our business capital. So now, what do you expect us to do? Is that not a taboo to see the director? People will say we need just connections in Cameroon. We don't need anything. That when you have connections, everything will be fine. If the president can say 50 million should be said that 50 billion should be set aside to support the youth in Cameroon, and people of a particular area confiscated the 50 billion, and they are asking for a certain percentage from that 50 billion. Meanwhile, their allowances are even more than the 50 billion. What do you expect from a common youth who is coming from Takija? Nothing. So now, in order to conclude, Tabi, it is to tell you that it is very difficult to discuss certain things with government officials. And I am quoting
but this time was open, eh?
This time was open.
It was open.
I am not refusing. Yeah. Will they implement those projects, those discussions? And the worst thing is that when those discussions are open, there are few people who are selected to go there.
Of course.
Was I selected to go there as an IDP? Question: were you selected to go there? You know the youth. George, were you there? So what are we saying?
I say that
people, when people organize conferences,
youth cannot be there.
I am not refusing. When people organize conferences, I didn't even have an idea. I just got in on news that something was happening like that. So if now people cannot do sensitization, they just sit in one conference area. No, there's no communication. Since they see that there's money coming in from the state, because they know that this youth week like this, people will buy cars that are more than 50 million from this particular youth week.
We'll come back to that.
We have celebrated bilingualism the other day, and I went to Acacia to buy tomatoes. I asked Mommy, how much is tomato? Mommy said, what does that mean? At the same time, we were saying that we youth, some youth in Cameroon, let me tell you, 99% are not very happy. Because you organize a conference, you select particular youth from particular children from particular people to go and attend the seminar. How does that help the poor man in the local area?
Mr. Daga George, your take on these discussions, government officials and youths?
You see, this country is becoming very dangerous day in, day out.
What do you mean very dangerous? We are talking discussions.
I'm saying this with a lot of. I'm saying this, Mr. Tabi,
Cameroonian youth and government officials.
Mr. Tabi Clarkson, I'm saying this with a lot of pains in my heart.
Yes.
I study in this country. I've spent 6 years in the University of SWA. And I've been part of the student government in the University of SWA. You see, the mafia in this country has reached another level that it's as if when you are from a family that they don't have maybe ministers, government delegates, governors, it will be very difficult for you to be invited for matters that concerns you. You see, Mr. Tabi, I have been very practical, politically, socially. When they talk of patriotism, I'm one of that Cameroonian youth that is very vocal. I'm in forums
in the criteria, my brother.
I'm in forums where we are more than 6,000 Cameroonian youth. Do you know that this information was a window decorating information? Let me shock you that there were invitation letters given to the individuals that they wanted to be there. And who are these individuals? Sons and daughters of ministers, minister delegates, governors,
friends
of children of those ministers, girlfriends, side chicks. You see, these are things that is quite appalling, because At the end of the day, meritocracy.
Have you investigated that?
You see, I'm giving you
were
facts.
You there?
I'm giving you facts, Mr. Tabi.
Because we were there.
Mr.
We were
Tabi,
there with source of youth.
Mr. Tabi, listen.
Who had nobody.
Mr. Tabi.
Yes.
There was a youth from Camdis there.
With source of youth who had nobody.
There's one thing.
I know what I'm talking about.
Now, the simple question I want to ask Mr. Tabi, because when you say, was I there, right? Let me prove you. Simple fact. I come from Donga Mountain Division in the northwest region of Cameroon. Can you give me one name of one youth from Donga Mountain that was invited? That is just from normal home. Just give me one name from you from Donga Mountain Division. Now, we claim that Donga Mountain Division is one of the peaceful divisions in the northwest region. Give me one name. Let me challenge you to prove to you that I was there. That I have all information. Despite the fact that I do not have that access to the place. It was not free because I went. See, Mr. Tabi, when we came here, when we come here, we come to speak. Outside. We come here to speak the truth. Meritocracy is not giving us the youth in this country. Meritocracy is not giving us the youth. I wrote a NAM twice. Check the record is there. First, I had 15 average. The first year I started for a NAM. Second, I had 16.6. But others dead with me because I have no connection. What transparency will you tell me to believe in a nation where I'm seeing irregularities on a daily basis? Mr. Tabi, we have influential youth in this country that if really we want to organize a conference that concerns all the youth, we know people. Even if I was not invited and I sit in the comfort zone, I see Mr. Frank Kendong being invited, I'll be happy. I see Mr. Lambert invited or Mr. Tabi being invited, I'll be happy. I will understand that this is based on transparency.
Maybe those youths that were invited are also competent, but you don't know them. You see? Maybe you don't know them, Mr. Competent youths.
Mr. Tabi, we are in Cameroon.
Do you know all the competent youths in Cameroon?
We are not living in France.
Do you know all the competent youths in Cameroon, Mr. Dagger George?
I can authoritatively tell you that as a Cameroonian youth, I cited you situations here that I've started working in this. I've been in this country since. I've never like going out to go and stay. You understand? I know majority, I can say 98% of hardworking youth in this nation who are very popular. Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
Land. We don't have much time. We are concluding.
You see, I'm coming to something.
Yes, we are listening.
The 15 billion allocated to the youth, as we said on papers. Let me shock you. You will write a project, and they will convert the project and give to a different person because you have nobody to stand the gap for you. Exactly. That is one. Two, the Minister of Youth Affairs in this nation is not a youth.
No, that's another debate.
And
no.
We as the youth are not given the chance. I don't even know.
We shall not take that.
We are not even given the chance to prove our what? All the sensitive position in this country, no youth has ever been involved.
Thank you. That is another debate.
No youth has never been involved. We are talking about youth, Mr. Tabi.
No, that is
we are talking about youth there.
We are talking these exchanges between government officials and the youths.
There have been dialogue. They have organized such quack dialogue where they discuss only with their children. Only people who have connections. At the end of the day, there's nothing good from it because those who have the technical know-how are never invited.
Thank you. Mr. Betra, you wanted to add something before we conclude. We still have 5 minutes, please.
Yes, Mr. Tabi, it's really surprising to hear such things, and it's true. You remember this Youth Week.
Yes.
I want to tell you one funny experience I got yesterday because I'm into part-time teaching. So this week all along has been a very busy week, and they'll ask us to come with students. They give you the number of students you are supposed to bring, and you have to transport them. Just to rent 170-seater bus, maybe from my area to the Boulevard. Parliamentary flat, the National Assembly. It's not an easy task. And at the end of the day, do you know what they give us? 2,500. A school. And 3 yards of loin for you to go and sow. That's what the Minister Minjek is giving. And you should know that the amount of money is really funny. 2,500 cannot even pay. In fact, they are telling you that with that 2.5, you should go and sow that nonsense they've given you. From the 50 billion they have collected, you should know that there are youth programs that are jointly sponsored by the states and by the United Nations system. Meaning that it takes a lot of money. But what they give per school It's surprising. How can you give a school 2,500 for youth day?
Students.
We have, just for instance, my school, we are supposed to transport 109 students for 2 days. Yesterday was pre-defile, that's pre-march pass, and then on the day of Boulevard, you have to still go with them.
Maybe good things are coming ahead.
No, not good thing. They give you invitations. They give you invitations for you to sit at the Boulevard there, and then give you one local laissez-passer for maybe just that week. How can they ridicule people to such extent? You call people father, and then the worst thing is, you go to that Minjek, you stand there for 2 hours. They tell you we are eating, we are on break. Turning at the end, you come and see 2,500, and the people, they are not even ashamed to hand it. I just stood like that. I said, but what nonsense is this? Where are we heading to? Where is the place of the youth? You have project, meet people. They know. We sit on different channels, and they know the competence of each youth. Meet them. They have elites. You can meet your elite, and your elites know how to guide you. But some elites, they will not do it. So
Why?
where are we heading to?
Are the elites
They
scared?
are self-centered. They are greedy. They invite wrong people. They come with good images of a meeting. Do you know that I was informed of this conference through you? Something that is supposed to be broadcasted nationwide on television channel, on newspaper, so that people should get access to it. We should know the criteria. Who are those to come there? How do we get there? Who is a youth first? Those are some of the things that we should know. Or when you take children from 17 years to 30 years, and you decide that those are the youth. Majority of us that we are coming up, we are from 40. The youth should begin from 17 or 21 right up to maybe 50. At 60, you should be tired. You should be preparing on your retirement. You don't come at 70 and then you start inviting your brothers and relatives who do not know what is happening in the nation. Some of them there, they are not even aware that there's no sword.
Some that were 65 and 68 that were attending the conference as youth.
Are they youth? Are they youth? So we have good laws, but the problem is we do not implement them.
Thank you.
We have to implement it.
I will give a minute again to Frank Hervé Kendall for him to conclude. Your last word on this issue, Frank.
On this issue, Mr. Tabi Clarkson, I think that most of the youth in Cameroon are really frustrated. Frustrated not because they are not willing to participate in nation building, but just because they are tired of keeping trying without any consideration. You know, I wonder, a brilliant entrepreneur like me in Cameroon that have been that is controlling a company and paying taxes since almost more than 20 years, I have never benefited from anything in Cameroon.
Your time is coming.
No credit.
Your time is coming.
No credit, no subvention, nothing
No
at
conviction.
all. As I'm talking today, I am employing more than 50 direct workers that I'm paying salaries on monthly basis, without counting the indirect employees that are benefiting time to time from by rendering me some services. So when I think about how the country, how the government relates to the youth, it really saddens me. But you know, as we used to say, we are used to it. We are used to it, and we are ready to remain Republican, patriotic, and will always advise those that are around us to work hard, because until this government will go away.
Thank you, sir.
Because I believe that nothing good has happened to me.
Thank you.
It will happen to
Thank
somebody
you,
else.
thank you, sir. Thank you. It's true that your time is coming.
Which time?
Your time is coming, because there is a time for everything, and we know that the good news is that you have said it. You will stay Republican because you are very patriotic. You love your country, and of course we are calling all youths over there watching us to be patriotic, to love Cameroon, because we have only one country. Cameroon is one and indivisible. We say thank you for watching the program. Take another appointment with me. It will be on Monday in the program Selactu as from 6:30 p.m. But then programs continue on Camdis television. Today we say, may the Almighty God continue to bless the Republic, as we say, Ubuntu.